Iron Trader, it is Monday morning, so it's time to go to work. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin. We'll take a look at gold and silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look at the old NQ, which is green here right now. All right, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell, stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have Bitcoin daily, weekly chart. Now you can see here what we have is today we made this high of 17,240. Friday's high 17,320. Today's low here so far 14,940, and Friday's low 14,850. So what we have is inside day. Your high and low is inside of previous days. Okay. Now what we need to do, even though it came down here below that 50-day, this is going to be key. Now we're hanging right around that 50-day at 115.537. We really want to hold that on a closing basis. If not, we're going to come right down here to that 8-day, which is 113.554, and then we have your 21-day sitting right there at 113.319. Now you can see how nice. You see how this 8-day now crossed over that 21-day. That's going to provide very, very good support if we lose that 50-day. All right. Now, upside. Well, we're looking at Friday's high at 117.3 level. Then we'll come right to the top of this candle at 117.640. That's going to be your next resistance level. And then we can march it right on up here. We got 18.350. Then we'll come over to the top of that candle at 119.810, which is basically that price channel right there. See how nice that is? All right. Now, next level we come up here is 127.55. Always look to the left. We have 121.255 level. And then we have sticky up here. We at that 122.955. And then we come up 123.615. And we have 123.755. And then your big target is going to be that 125.200. Now, just because you have a red day, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, just like we had red days here. We just will see how it shakes out. It's very, very early in the morning yet. So what we have a nice, good cup situation here. And so far, we have this series of higher lows and higher highs, which is always positive. And the 8-day crossed over the 21-day. Now, if that 21-day and that 8-day are lost, well, then we can just come right to the bottom of that candle. We're looking at 111.230, and we have 111.15, and then we come down here to the bottom of this candle right here. We're looking at 110.480, and then we have your 100-day at 109.791. Now, we're only sitting here on this at this 52.91. That's not overbought, oversold, and the green is over your red, all right? Now, when we look at this double top situation, okay, say that was like the red flag, because that's why I always say look to the left of the candle. Okay, so even though we made a higher high, we couldn't hold that higher high, and that was the very, very key. We did on this level here, but you could not get and close above it, and that's going to be the key when you have a breakout situation. Then we had this negative divergence. See, that's two red flags, and that tells you that it's going to go lower. But look how nice this 100-day has been holding. Very, very nice. It's almost like a catch-all situation. Now, when we look at the weekly chart here, okay? All right, so we're holding this right here. This is what the key is, 114, okay? Let's see, 893. Let's hold on a second. That's it. All right, the weekly chart is always very, very important. Okay, so you can see here how we came down here, but we're holding this 114, 893 level. That's going to be very, very key. Obviously, if we lose that, well, then we come up to the top of that candle. You got 113.890 level. We got 113.810. But we're really looking for that is right here is this 110.712. That's your 21 SMA. But let's just see by Friday. Okay, that's the key. This is a weekly chart. So by Friday, we really want to hold that 8-day, and that would progress the thing much, much higher kind of a situation. All right. So now what we got here is you got like a negative divergence going on here. But, okay, that's to say, but the situation is we can turn this around and hold that 8-day. We could take this a much higher, okay? So now we have sideways action. With the green is below your red, so it shows momentum to the downside, but we're holding that 21-day. Look how nice that 21-day is holding here for the last 3 weeks in a row. Just because it goes lower, the key is going to be a close by Friday of that 21-day and of that 8-day. So for today, what we're watching is this 50-day. Okay, that's going to be key. We want to hold that on a closing basis. If not, we're going to come right down to that 8-day. We're going to come down to that 21 SMA. All right, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Here we have gold and silver. Now, not really has much changed since last night's video. We're trading right between the 8-day here and that breakout level of that 37.15. But the key level to watch here is going to be that 3700 level. Okay, that's going to be very, very crucial. You can see here how, yeah, did we go a little bit above it here with this 37.15, but the rest of these candles here could not really, you caught up to 36.95, but that 3700 is going to be very, very critical on a closing basis. We get above that, then we attack that 37.15, then we go 37.50 and work your way all up to 3800. Now, downside, you can see where it came right on down here, but we're holding this 8-day. See how nice that is? 36.62. That's why you trade the charts. Now, the next level you're going to be going is 36.51. And then we just work yourself right on down, okay? So you got 36.40 level, and then we come down here, 36.21. We have 35.95, and then we have 35.73. Then always look to the left here. We have that 35.34 level, and then we have that 35.30. But now look how nice this is. See how that 21 days curling up here? 50-day and 100-day. Everything is looking good as long as we hold that 8-day, all right? So we have an overbought condition going on here, okay? Overbought situation, and the green is way up here on the left, but that doesn't mean it can't stay overbought. The key is it has to hold that 8-day. You lose that 8-day, then we just look right to the left of the chart here and possibly work your way down to the 21-day. Upside, that 3700 is everything, and then we have that 37.15. But when you look at that 37.15, see this red candle, see that topping tail situation? Okay, that's really not what you want to see as where it's going to say, I'm going to take it higher. The only way you can take it higher is you have to close above that number, then we can rip up higher. Okay, silver. Now, silver is having a pretty good year so far now. Okay, we had this sideways consolidation, and we came all the way up here to this 43.04 level. Now, today so far, we have this, what they call it, inside day. So we made a high of 42.84, but we got to get a close above this 43.04. That's going to be the key on a closing basis, all right? We go that, you're going to work your way right to that 45 mark. Now, downside, what you want to watch is the top of that candle right there, 42.29. That's going to be your key support level. We lose that, you're going to come right down to the 8-day at 41.90. We lose that, we come right down here. We just follow the candles, 41.33. We have 41.14 level, and we come to the top of that candle at that 40.86. The bottom there, 41.99 level. And then we're going to start running right into that 40.18 level. Then we just come right to the top of that candle. You look at that 39.91, the next support, and then we have 39.57 and work your way down to the 50-day. But again, the same thing as with gold. As long as we're above that 8-day, you're going to have sideways to up action. Now, we look here. We had negative divergence, but now we can see here how this is playing out here. Not too bad. Okay, so this is actually working here pretty good on the RSI. You can see the strength that's in here. So now, this is like a really overbought scenario, but this is just showing relative really good strength. And look at your green, how nice it is. It looked like it was wanting to curl over, but now we just have a nice, good, solid momentum there to the upside. So this looks like it wants to go higher as long as we can hold that 8-day simple moving average. All right, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Here we have crude oil. Okay, let's see what's going on in the old Krudski here. Okay, so we had this big topping tail here and kind of like an indecision candle there on Friday. Came all the way down here. We put a low in there of 61.69. We're looking for that 61.45. That is going to be key on the downside. So far today, inside day, but we're really pretty much here above this 8-day. So on the downside, this is what you're watching, 62.76. That's going to be your support level. Your next level we're going to be doing, we're going to come right down to the bottom there, is you're looking at 62.37, and then we'll come down here. You're looking at 62.21, and then we can refine this, 61.85. Friday's low, 61.69, and then 61.45. That's the key. But we have this sideways kind of an action situation. So when you look at this pattern here, see how we have this red candle? It's like a bear flag situation going on up here. Then we had another red flag. So this is really kind of a total cluster is what it is, okay? So if we lose this 61.45 level, then here's your next level, 61.06. And then we come down there at 60.55, 60.26, 60.02, and then right here is your target at that 59.74. That's going to be your next target. And obviously, we just follow the candles down. Obviously, below that there, you're going to have 57.74. But you will just worry about here ones at a level at a time. 61.45 is the key. Okay, so let's just see what we have on the upside. Even though we're above the 8-day, we went right straight into that 21-day. Okay, 63.31. You get above that, then we can come over to the Friday's high, looking at 63.98. And then we have your 100-day at 64.40. Your 200 or your 50-day, and then we have your retest there of 66.03, which is basically just the top of that candle, and then 67.06. All right, but right now, sideways action here. I really believe that by the end of the year, you'll be down in the 50 level. But let's just see how that's all going to shake out. Now, OPEC's, they really cut it down there. They're putting 541,000 barrels a day on the market here in September. But October, they cut down to 136. And then they'll see how it all shakes out. Now, remember, OPEC meeting is on October 5th. So we'll have to see what they decide at that time. But right now, the market is fully supplied. Plus, you're going into this time frame. Now, hurricane season has not been bad at all as far as the disruption in crude or natural gas or anything like that. It has to come into that Gulf. It comes in that Gulf where you shut down rigs, you shut down the ports. That affects the crude oil, the natural gas, and gasoline. But so far, we have not had that. Right? So 46, not overbought or oversold. The green is below your red. But we really got a whole lot of nothing. So to me, this is just a trading. I use UCO for the long, SEO for the short. This is just a trader's market. Unless we lose this 64, 145 on a closing basis, then it's going to be a nice short all the way on down. Now, natural gas. All right, let's take a look at here. I'm going to natty gas here. Now, we have an inside day here. So we made a high of that 299. On Friday, we made a high of a 3. Okay, so just a little bit inside day here so far. So the key on the upside is going to be that 3 mark, and then we're going to come right to that 8 day at 301, and then we have that 50 day at 307. We crack above that, then we have 311, then we have 316, 319, and then we come up to your 100 day there at that 329. But you can see how strong that 50 day is. Okay, just held it the whole way. Okay, very, very strong. The 8 day was moving up nice. It crossed over the 21 day, but it couldn't get above that 50 day. Now she's just rolling on down. But you notice that we're holding this right here, this 21 day. This is going to be crucial on a closing basis, this 292. We lose that, we're going to go to Friday's low here at 289. We just look to the left of the chart. You're looking at 286 level. Then we'll come down here to the gap, 277. 274 is a fill, 265, and then your retest, 262. But as long as we're holding that 21 day, we're looking here very, very good. All right. So that's not overbought or oversold. The same as here. Not this is just like a sideways kind of an action. Now, when you look at this chart, you can see here how you have a low, higher low, higher low, higher high situation. That was a nice, good uptrending. But once we put this topping tail, see that topping tail there? Okay. See, we're just right in a downtrending situation. Now we're actually testing this downtrend. You're still in a downtrend. You see how we have a high, we have a lower high, and we have a lower high. You're still downtrending here on natural gas. You have to break actually above not only that price channel, that 319, but above that 100 day and work yourself to that 200 day, and that would negate that downtrend. But right now you're still in a downtrend, and what we had is a nice rally up, but now we're testing that situation. But going into the winter, if it's a very, very hard, cold winter, like they're saying, natural gas is not going to stay in the $2 range. All right, let's take a look here now at the NQ. All right, here we have the NQ. This is basically just the NASDAQ futures. Now, you can see here it just doesn't want to give up the ghost, okay? So what we're doing is we had this negative divergence, but now you can see how we're rallying right back up again, okay? And we're only sitting here at that 68. You got still plenty of room to run. We got a sideways action on your MACD. Now, with this 50-day, look and see how nice this is held, okay? See, even though it came on down, this went down below it, but you notice where it closed. That's the key. And now we're right up here again at that 24,400. So obviously your next target is the 24.5. I really think that they want to send us here to at least 25K. Okay, that's to say. So an easy way to trade this is with the ETF TQQ. It's a sweet basket of all the good tech stocks. Okay, your Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Amazon, Tesla's in there, Costco's in there. All the good stuff is right there in the old NQ. Okay, so you can see here how you were gapping up here on the futures, 24,400. But again, on the downside, what you really want to hold is you want to go on Friday's high. You're looking at 24,159, and then we'll come down to this high at 24,68. Now, the 8 day is going to be very, very critical on support level, 23,925, and then we have your 21 day, then we have your 50 SMA. So for me, this is just a trader's market. This is where we can get in here when you have these oversold conditions. See that? All that got oversold. That is your buying opportunity here to take it long. This is a good trading opportunity because now we're making this series of higher highs and higher low kind of a situation. But again, we've got to see how it all shakes out. But right now we have this still negative divergence, but let's just see if it can work itself out of that and take it back up higher. So just be a little bit careful. But I say this is just a trading market kind of a situation. But just watch the end of this month and beginning of that October. We got to see how that's all going to shake out. All right, that's what I got for you. Now, I'm on the office, so this is the only video I'll have for you today. But I'll be back in the office tomorrow, and we'll do 3 videos as usual. Now remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.